Ho everybody, it's your Wonderful Wind Mage, your Cruz Ship servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service now. I hope everybody's doing well. It is the start of a new month, August 1st, 2025, and what feels like almost like a video game season changing. It was cloudy all day, it was like a cool 80-ish degrees instead of like the 97s that I've been dealing with for the past 2 months. Look, I'm just happy to be here, and I'm really just here to do exactly so, video editing, as I'm going to yap all night tonight. So, first and foremost, I just had a big dinner, so let me take a sip of water. As I felt myself kind of burp right there for a second. But yeah, I've got a big backlog that I need to work through right now, just if I pull up my upload schedule real quick, when it comes to it. Oh, bro. There we go. When it comes to it, I've got a lot of work that I need to get onto. Just first and foremost, actually, on auditing stuff, I need to duplicate the sheet and make this my August sheet. August 25. You're not going to see this all immediately, but yeah, this is going to be a working stream tonight, and I'm just going to get the chat or so. So, let me do some backstory on this stream as well when it comes to it. This stream was made with the idea of using it as part of my extension of my 25th of my 5th anniversary celebration on the 24th that I was trying to say right there. What that all pointed out to be is that on the 24th, I had a little bit of a raffle. It was kind of like half of a joke, but half serious when it comes to it. On some, if people type in the little redeem codes I parodied off of the Genshin special programs, then I would have something to give out on that side. And the reward, after I spun a wheel, was on my next big editing stream. I'd have it, like, whoever wants to will basically have 2 hours of free reign of getting to choose what Cruzy talks about in all of her yap streams and everything like that or so. And well, here we are now. I'm here to yap, and Rita won the raffle when it came to it, so I got a lot of icebreaker questions, which I'll go on about, and I'll put at the bottom of the screen like I do with my other yapping streams, so I don't get stun-locked immediately onto it, because otherwise, it's just gonna be me putting out all of the stuff when it comes to it right here. VOD. Just chatting. Uploading all of my stuff that I have planned all on the side for what I got going on. I have like a million Deadlock VODs that I can have alternating on my B slot, quite frankly. I can have that just kind of going on right there when it comes to it, and I'll just keep working through it. First and foremost, let me clear my back ledger, because by the end of today, I shouldn't have anything slotted in, and I need to do my usual audit check on it. So, let me look at it. Series that I'm still keeping up when it comes to this point here. OS, I'm probably actually straight retired from OS. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. So, I think I might just actually take that off of that series blot. Misty's absolutely is always going to be part of it. Lost Branches there, Celeste, I'm pretty much done with that too then, so I can kind of take that around and off. I can probably condense a few things out on my little thing right here. My little side widget that I have. On my consistent stuff though, I need to probably move this up a bit and reroute things. Retired series. I only have my stuff for it to be at 4 p.m. when it comes to it at this point here, so I'm not gonna have any more. Also, this is very outdated on my own side for keeping things up, because Kubanachi's over and done with at this point. Mystia's will always be right here when it comes to it then. Monster Tower Defense is new series. Otherwise, I can probably have Teamfight Manager slotted into my 4 p.m.s is what I'm thinking. Probably a good idea to have from this point on, because I could have that on and off with Deadlock then when I get back to it and do a upload schedule like this if I keep my VODs up. It's either that or that can just fill the space between my VODs. Yeah. And then whatever Uma posted I want to do in that side. Alright, this is what I like to do at the start of every month of mine, quite frankly, to get my bearings together. See what series I have been doing, see what series I haven't been doing, and just really catch up on my own self-upkeep when it comes to it then on that side. And well, we'll really just see what pans overall in that case for how everything works out. Because right now I've got a lot of like videos to schedule for upload and everything like that, and just going on from that too. And also, I can probably actually go ahead get just chatting sorted in here as well. I probably actually put it between the deadlock VODs. And already, let's say if I'm gonna do 4 hours, that's gonna be 4 in between in that case then. So I can just slot that around, and that'll be perfect then for me. Okay, good on the side. I need to get the VODs out for Mystias, and then get all of that prepared, and then I have a good log for how August is gonna go. Okay, great stuff, great stuff. So, let me pull up what list of questions Rena got. Rena, you said that you have boring stuff for Card Faker once again. Anything when it comes to for icebreaker questions isn't bad at all, quite frankly. It's really just, you know, an icebreaker. And it gets me going on to what I'm gonna yap about as I like to do my busy work. Because, you know me, I can absolutely multitask and just kind of shoot off at the hip for whatever is needed, whatever I need to say and everything like that or so, right? But I should also ask, how are y'all doing today? Hope everything's going well. Hope y'all were doing alright. Hopefully not too bad of a... I was about to say Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. Not too bad of a Friday. I'm so tired. I wish it was Sunday, because then Monday I have off when it comes to. But first question that came from Retta on her list is, how did I get into cosplay? I should also probably like center this and probably shrink it a little bit as well too. No, so let's make it like not Ariel, quite frankly, because Ariel is boring. Let's do this plantain here. Here we go, that'll be good. I want to shrink it a little bit though. Let's make you size 70. Perfect, now that fits in. Nice and cool, like you said, hopes a lot. Oh, absolutely. I had so much more energy at the beginning part of my day, but then at the very end, I will be honest, I was kind of sputtering on fumes, so I was falling asleep at my work desk. Absolutely so. I could have fallen asleep way sooner if I wanted to at that point, but we're neither here nor there. But for now, let me get this, let me get my upload schedule up. And let me get this for the thumbnail real quick. I think this will be a good thumbnail cap. So let me drag my Chrome tab here. There we go. Good reaction when it comes to it. But yeah, Reddit's first question was, how do I get into cosplay? And this is something that was brought up and around from a DM conversation that we had, which is where Rena was just kind of like being polite, asking like how comfortable it is to like refer to me and call me and everything like that or so, and my response was, you're honestly really fine, sister, because I've been in the cosplay business for like I've been a VTuber now for what is 5 years of my career overall on the internet online. I've been a cosplayer for I'd say a good 8 years instead when it comes to it then, because yeah, if I count my time, yeah, like, at least for like actively posting like cosplay and whatever stuff like that or so, it's absolutely been a lot longer. Let me route around my downloads. This will be just chatting VOD 8125 stream. There we go, good on that side. But because of that, but I've been cosplaying for a lot longer, and when it comes to it, then it is absolutely spurred on from the fact that I have always loved gaming. Of course, I've been playing video games ever since I've been a kid, and I feel like me being a theater kid nerd, whatever stuff like that, really gave a good juxtaposition on what was ways that I could be enamored and also replicate how cool it was. 'Cause, yeah, as a little kid during like Halloween or whatever, I dressed up as Mario and whatever, or like thanks to my mom and dad's help and such like that. And it's not really to say much that that's like cosplay in general. It's more of that's just Halloween costuming, I guess then. But the better way for me to put it is that my first real foray into cosplay was when we had a local convention in the area or so. I think some of my earliest stuff was so it was me getting galvanized into doing Fire Emblem cosplays by my friend group, because Fire Emblem is my favorite game franchise of all time, and I wanted to do a character that I resonated with so much so back during high school age, that was when Fire Emblem Fates had come out on the 3DS. And the big thing that I really enjoyed out of it was one character in particular, Shigure, son of Azura. Matt Mercer voices him, and also Lost in Thoughts All Alone when it comes to it. I loved him so much. And one artist that I followed, their name is Flamingo Punch. Let's see if I can look them up. Flamingo Punch Fire Emblem Shigure cosplay. Well, first and foremost, Flamingo Punch, the artist, has done a lot of has done a lot of work with a lot of Shigure fan art and everything like that or so, but I'm pretty sure it was them that did a cosplay of Shigure in his in a Kinshi Knight outfit that I remember seeing them make like a blog post tutorial on or something like that I'd have to dig through my memories of if I can find even that one. The main thing is that inspired me to want to cosplay him myself in his base outfit, and now fast forward to where it is now. I've cosplayed him in base, in performing arts, and in the Kinshi Knight. If I type in Kinshi Knight. Well, point still stands. I got inspired by a famous artist and cosplayer when it comes to it on that side, and that galvanized me into making my first ever cosplay, and I started to make my first docket back then. I remember it was Shigure. I did Lyren from Ruby, because we had two Ruby voice actors that were going into town. It was voice actor Blake and, I can't remember Blake's VA. Oh, darn it. Well, I'm exposing how Aaron Zech. I said it before it popped up. Aaron Zech, and then Jen Taylor, voice of Pyrrha, Nikos, were in a convention, and I thought that was gonna be great. I'm gonna get to dress up as a character from the series and have them sign my stuff or so. It was cool. So those were my first two cosplays that I ever did from series that inspired me so much, so much early on in my life. That being, of course, once again, Ruby and Fire Emblem. But Fire Emblem first. Ruby was, I was a big fan of Rooster Teeth at the time, and then Rooster Teeth in the anime. Oh my goodness gracious. It's a match made in heaven and everything like that. Can you believe? So that was the first ones that I did, and both of them were both from the love of series and creators. I love Fire Emblem, of course, and that was a way for me to showcase that love with how I dressed, with getting to do a photo shoot with a bunch of my friends. And the Ruby was out of a passion of one of my favorite companies of all time, Rooster Teeth, back when they were still cool and nostalgic and, weren't blowing up at the seams and everything like that or so. But then again, there's also when when Monty was still around for Ruby at the time. And, well, we see how things have gone, but that's, once again, neither here nor there, unfortunately, at the end of the day. Alright, Tower Defense 4, if I click that real quick. Let me make sure that everything is ending up in the correct place as well. Okay, we're good on this end. But that was what got me into cosplay, and then it just kind of continued to blossom onwards from there. Because the main thing is that cosplay has always been a passion project, to be able to become your character for a day or so, dress up as them, be as cool as them, wield their weapons, or whatever stuff like that or so. Quite frankly, I find it the most sincere way that you can take imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. Like that wording and everything right there to its maximum. Clickbait thumbnail. Because what better way to showcase your love for a series than getting to dress up as this character who, you know, wouldn't exist, like, is like, you know, absolutely just a fantasy character, wouldn't ever exist otherwise if not for the series' own, you know, popularity existence, and getting to embody them for a day, getting to showcase, like, both your skills as a crafter, as a content creator, or so, promoting yourself in whatever way that it might be, and getting to connect with other people in the same fandom, whether they're dressed up or not, or so. It's a love letter to how inspiring you can be as an artist in a way. Because of course, I'm costuming arts, compared to traditional arts or so. And I find that I have some of the most passion and some of the most fun with getting to showcase ways that I can spark inspiration in people. Be it having them take my picture when it comes to it overall, or doing like even like funny things like little skits and everything like that, or so along the lines. Because the big thing about it is that whenever I'm doing my cosplay, I absolutely do so much work to promote myself, and I say promote myself, but like to promote myself and the character that I am. I try to learn. Like, for like Shigure, I learned Lost in Thoughts All Alone, both in English and Japanese, because I loved it so much. I learned how to do magic, like actual card tricks and magic and whatever, stuff like that for Emma from Eternal Returns, because she's a magician. I at least asked how to... Sorry, getting a picture for the thumbnail. I at least asked how to wield a bow properly from some of my friends who actually know how to use bows for all of my characters that use bows. I practiced character poses. I practiced their mannerisms, their idle actions. I practiced phrases that they did or so when it comes to it. And of course, for lots of them, I made their weapons true to form as best as I could when it comes to it. Be it making my own 3D printed bow that's 7 feet tall for engaged Lin when it comes to it, or also like just doing whole weird things like making Flandre's wings, which are a good 10-pound backpack that is fully rigged up, engineered, and everything like that by me. Like, oh my goodness gracious, it doesn't get any better than that, than getting to show how creative I can be with my cosplay end, and you know, and quite frankly, do all things that people, it's not cringe toward that necessarily, but rather it's cool to see somebody in character at a convention doing what that character would, in my eyes at the very least, or being, you know, an embodiment. Because what other world, oh, in some worlds you'll get to see things at conventions you never see, like, yo, what's Sephiroth doing at the convention Pizza Hut or whatever, but then otherwise you get fun little interactions and everything like that that you'd never get otherwise. Like, I know, okay, the docket from that first convention was 3 outfits. It was Shigure, Iron Fates, it was Ren, Ruby, and then it's Mare Battlefiore from Overlord, one of our lovely Dark Elves. And on that side of you saying skits too, yeah, one big thing that comes to my mind is, if you've never heard of this series Overlord, think of it in each isekai series into an MMO game, but the main character basically RP'd as a bad guy, all the NPCs came to life around him, and now he has to keep up that act. Mare is ostensibly a evil character when it comes to it, and in one scene, they braid somebody's legs and drag them out of a room, because they need to get them out of there and kidnap them, to keep it as fun as possible. And I remember, for skits when it comes to it, there was 3 guys, like, remember, I'm 5'2". There was 3 guys who were at least a foot taller over than me, just in a regular gear or so. Like, I remember walking to the arcade room when they immediately, like, it's almost like teen girls all huddled together. They gasped, they saw who I was dressed up as, they ran up to me excitedly and said, like, oh my god, I can't believe you're dressed up as Mare. This is so cute. Can I get a picture? I have lots, of course. It was great. They looked at different things that I had. Like, they were both enamored by the staff that Mare wields. If I'm going to pull this up real quick. My Battlefiore. They're enamored by the staff that I made for Mare at the time when it comes to it. So, yeah, his staff of Idrisil when it comes to it, if I remember correctly. And I also went to other lines, such as the little ring that you see right here. This is the ring of Ainz Ordon, which is gifted to him. It's kind of like teleportation powers in a way or so. And I painstakingly drew a symbol with like Sharpie marker for the longest of time now. It took me so much time to get it perfected right. And when they saw that, they freaked out. They said, "You did every single detail. I can't get a picture. I need a video." One of them goes, "Can you break my legs for me, please?" So I literally just do that anime moment from scratch. Like, if I look it up, Mario Belfiore breaks legs. Mari's mission. There we go. I'm just gonna keep the audio low or muted or so, but basically, yeah, Mario goes over to like this noble's house or so, asks if they're the most important person in the mansion, and whacks their legs, breaks them, and literally just whacks them with them, breaks their leg, and just grabs them by the hair and drags them out of the room. So I politely knocked this guy's legs. He playfully fell down, let me drag him out of the room as his friends recorded it the entire time, and that's like a poignant memory in my mind when it comes to skits and everything like that or so. And that is such a wonderful thing that inspired, I would say inspired, I was already cosplaying at the time, but that made me love being in characters so much more too. It's also another trend with my Fire Emblem characters too. If every time I cosplay a Fire Emblem character, whenever I'm going up to the convention, not even when I have a chance to, what's his face? Not even when I have a chance to enter the convention yet, right? Every time, it's always been on the escalator or when I'm in line to get my badge. I've had people come out to me and go, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're this character. I need to get your picture or so." And then I always have an incident to where the staff is like, hey, get back in line. You can't get past the barrier. I'm like, "I know, I'm not trying to. Can you guys come over here instead so you can get my picture so I can stay in line?" But it happens every time. And seeing people, like, seeing the elation and joy in people with how you get to be what could be their dream character overall when it comes to it then is so cool. Or getting to be a character that they would go, "I've never seen anybody cosplay this character," or anything like that or so. It's so much dopamine to be able to not only embody a character that I spent so much time working on, dressing up as, and being able to respect them and like showcase my love for the series by becoming them, even if it is for a day, and then having other people get to see that same amount of love, dedication, and fangirl over it, and have every right to fangirl over it. That's what makes cosplaying for me so much. So much. Alright. So, I will say, I was reading your questions on the side, because Rena's questions in order. What got you into cosplay? Talk about your first convention. Okay, yep, I kind of hit those two. Next one. Is there, that's right. Wishful cosplays. So I'm gonna put this, because your question, Rena, was, is there any character that I'd wish that I could cosplay, but don't because it would be too difficult or expensive? Let me put it this way. There's different characters that I'd love to cosplay, but I wouldn't for different means or so. And it's because of a few different reasons. One, like, I'll put out a few instances. For example, JoJo characters are always on the table for me when it comes to it, as an idea. I could go heavily into like the cell shading, kind of like, like for like the manga panel, kind of like how like the Borderlands cosplayers do it if I ever wanted to one day. But on the other end, when it comes to that or so, I also feel like I'd be doing a bit of a disservice, because I want to have the physique when it comes to it of a JoJo's character, if actually like build and buff myself up when it comes to it. And it's not a requirement, of course, because once again, like, for example, I cosplayed Shigure, who is 6 feet tall. I'm 5'2". I'm literally a foot less than him. I'm also, brown boy IRL, not a white guy. when it comes to it. Mara is one of the closest characters around true to form, because they are a dark elf. Nice brown short dark elf when it comes to it, so that actually fits me to a T for matching up character and everything like that or so. But point still stands when it comes to it. Body types don't stop people from cosplaying, but I want to be as close as I can potentially, if possible, for my own self-satisfaction. It isn't me saying, oh, gatekeeping, you can't cosplay this character just because. No, it is absolutely a me thing, saying I want to be able to be this character as true to form as possible, and that is me being banal about the details. Because when it comes to it, like, for people who have seen my pictures IRL, you know that my hair is literally Tatooine from Stardust Crusaders. I legit have the Noriaki Tatooine, like, kind of curl hair perfectly. I can just point upwards, dye my hair red, and then I'm actually Tatooine. But, on that same side, if I'm gonna cosplay him, I have to bring around, Emerald Splash, which I can just 3D print a few emeralds to do that. But I'm gonna have to also have Hierophant Green to follow me around some way or so for the convention. And that's something that I'm like, I have to do it. This is my standards of prop work and everything like that I have to fulfill. I remember seeing this one JoJo stream Mario on YouTube one time. That's pretty amazing. But, like, that's another thing in my cosplay of, like, even if, like, another part of my passion is, like, I want to be able to be memorable and stand out to people for their con experiences. Because on that same vein, if I'm going to be cosplaying a character, the big thing that I want to be able to do about it all is I want to make my specific cosplay stand out. If there's going to be a cosplay or so that, like, people will remember out of a con, I want it to be my cosplay that they remember. Okay, August 2nd, because I had the first Tower Defense on July 31st, so August 2nd will be the next one. Gotcha. So that's a big thing about it, of why I'm so big about making props out of my stuff, because, or like making props or learning how to like sing or, you know, method act a little bit more on that side, because the more that I'm able to embody a character one way or another, sorry, I'm just typing up when it comes to it, the more I feel like I'm both in tune with my own cosplay on a ton of a selfish side when it comes to it, and also it helps me stick out from others. Because, for example, like, there's always been the jokes of like, oh, you're gonna find a million Deadpool cosplays at Comic-Con or so, and everything like that. But at the same time, I want to be the memorable one of, yeah, did you see like that Deadpool cosplayer who did XYZ, or did you see that, you know, Fire Emblem cosplayer who did XYZ or so? I want to be remembered for what makes my cosplay stick out. So in a selfish kind of show-offy way, that's a big standard for how I want to operate and really showcase my skills, you know? Monster. Tower Defense. Toby Fox? I still can't wait Toby Fox got to be the first area boss for my Monster Defense series. That's really, really funny. But on that end, yeah, like, JoJo's characters are there. Granted, I feel like Tatooine would be a dream when it comes to it, because he's my favorite Part 3 character. Whole Horse is up there too, not in the Tatooine, because he's actually a main character. Whole Horse right after that. But then, Part 5's Guido Mista from JoJo's is actually somebody I could do on the other end, rather, because I can 3D print Sex Pistols and hang them around me like a necklace, so it solves the stand problem. And technically he isn't as buff, but I still actually want to get a bit more of a physique when it comes to it than overall is the big thing. Otherwise, other cosplays that I'd love to do, but I don't, but would be too difficult or expensive. More gacha, like, if I was into more gacha games, I say is I'm getting into Uma or so. I would have loved to do more of that stuff. Like, back when I was into Genshin heavily, for instance, all of the huge ass weapons and everything, like, I would have loved to have, like, even though I had no intention to ever cosplay Diluc, Wolf's Gravestone looked so cool, and I would have loved to be able to buy one and swing it around, or just, you know, like, buy costumes like that on that side, quite frankly, because, you know, gacha game costumes, when it comes to it, are so expansive and so cool with how much detail that they have and everything, but it's just way too much. It's way too much on that end or so. I wouldn't necessarily say expensive when it comes to it than otherwise, but I know that. What's a good way to put this? So let me phrase this real quick here. As I also pull my thumbnails up and around here real quick. Need to change my view on this. Oh my goodness gracious. Can I stop getting like, how many, okay, I was about to say, I know that I am, what's his face? I know that I am getting, like, are bots on the uptick right now? Why do I keep getting bots every single day now? It's, like, it's not, I'm not even playing a Toho this time around. It's just bots are just coming by, just on the regular. I'm not going that much in views. I see the stream analytics afterwards now, people. Why are bots being attracted to my channel all of a sudden, quite frankly? Get that crap out of here. Get that crap out of here. Okay. So, cover the JoJo side. Expensive side, expensive side when it comes to it. I want to be able to do more engineering projects when it comes to it. And by that, I mean I want to be able to incorporate more lights and more engineering feats into my cosplay work. Because because my Flan cosplay, where I got to do my shining lights and everything like that or so, that was all following a guide, and then afterwards, just basically everything engineered by me when it comes to it. Those were battery pads. I know a dream of mine back in college, just because I was so enamored by, what's his face? By, you know, Overwatch, as that was the big kick and craze, everything like that or so, was make a Lucio cosplay, but actually have the music pumping out of, but actually having like full LEDs and everything like that or so, and have the music pumping out of my kit and all, like actually he does in game. But that is something that would be too much out of my pay grade for how much I could, like how much my knowledge is. And also, do you know how expensive that stuff can easily get for trying to engineer stuff together, and especially if you mess up parts? That's way, way more than I would be ever willing to spend on my own side of it when it comes to it. I wish I could do it, but it's not in the cards for me with my budgeting, especially with me on my apartment now. It's just something wishful I could do, but Flan was my first engineering success, and now I want to keep holistically working on to it, but it's a lot of darn hard work, I'm gonna be real with you. Alright, put that out. This one will be on August 10th, in that case, on my upload schedule. Keeping my alternating 2 uploads then. Perfect. I love being organized and having my streaming stuff already settled a week out or so. Isn't it so nice to be organized? Alright, as I get this next one, let's see here. What is your next question that you had lined up for me at the time, Rena? You've got... instruments I play. Gotcha! Well, quite simply, band and theater kid all throughout the entirety of my life when it comes to it. I have done percussion all throughout my life. So, took lessons on that or so. Took lessons during middle school to high school or so. So let's break down percussion for those of you that don't know it when it comes to it then. That is... that is going to be your snare drum, your bass drum, your cymbals, everything like that or so for performing band. That is going to be your keyboard percussion. So bells, xylophone, marimba, vibraphone, chimes, everything like that or so. And piano. I've been teaching myself piano right now, basically when it comes to it or so. You have your big performing stuff like the timpani. Unironically, the triangle that you do have to learn on that side or so, cymbals, anything more of like the percussion ensemble stuff that you'd want to understand on that side, but just like, and of course drum set, because I am a percussionist when it comes to it. So mainly percussion and drum set, I guess you could put it. Piano, I am teaching myself. I know the ocarina because I bought one a good while back just because I thought it was cool when I was back when I had my first job, and well, I have it now, because what other small portable instrument can you actually bring around without annoying people with how loud it is in the band room or so? Well, funny enough I say that, as I also know trumpet to a decent degree, because I played it a bit for jazz band back in my high school too, but I then transitioned more to like vibraphone and slightly piano on that side afterwards, right? So that didn't move on too much, but it didn't move things too much, right? Frankly, but it was still something that I did know and learn how to play. Mistia's Izakaya. Alright, I'm gonna take away the questions thing real quick, because I've got a few rapid fire ones from Rena. Favorite game? Favorite game? If you're gonna say, like, favorite game series or so, it's Fire Emblem, without a doubt, 1000%. If you had to ask me for a favorite game, just one-off on its own out of every single game that I've ever played, now that's gonna be a very difficult question in that case then, because I don't think I could narrow it down to anything at all. Now, your next question that you had for me on the raffle was favorite game type. Well, in that case, then, that's pretty easy to really put together, quite frankly. I love my strategy games when it comes to it, be it turn-based RPGs, so of course, Fire Emblem is big right there when it comes to it, but Advanced Wars, made by IS, Intelligent Systems, of course, is up there too. When it comes to it, let's see here, this will be, what slot is this filling up? This is August 5th. Around odd days. Yeah, I love my strategies whenever it comes to it. Turn-based strategies absolutely go out to it on that side, of course, just due to the fact of like my Fire Emblem heritage when it comes to that side. Advanced Wars sits on that. The XCOM series, that's XCOM, baby. I love that overall then. Otherwise, I would say shooters in any regard when it comes to it are absolute classics for me in any regard. I grew up as a Halo kitty more than a Call of Duty kitty when it came to it back then or so, even though I played Call of Duty first. But my Xbox 360 days and Halo Reach were absolute cinema back then. And Battlefield, I'm so tepid. I really hope Battlefield 6 does hit the landing and it's not EA hell that brings it to it as it almost always feels like it does. I really want Battlefield 6 to succeed. I really want to. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, any shooters when it comes to, just because they're very active games, I like both like smaller, like I feel like I fluctuate towards both genres, but I've absolutely always loved what I'd consider meat grinder shooters when it comes to it then, just due to the fact that it's just a way for me to enjoy both having an impact on the game, and also being able to just take my mind off and just say like, hey, I'm just kicking the shit. Because Battlefield absolutely shoots up there. Battlefield 4 is the one that comes to my mind on that end when it comes to it, and especially so. Alright, Battlefield 4 was there. BattleBit Remastered, for those of you that remember that craze back a few years ago, especially so, was of course another great thing when it comes to it. And on that side, it just keeps going onwards from there. Now, of course, Battle Royales have absolutely taken the precedence for how shooters are, but I never got into PUBG when it came to at that time or so. I got into the Apex craze. Never played Fortnite until Contemporary with my friends now, because at first I was one of the people that thought, I'm too good for Fortnite. I don't need to do I don't need to play Fortnite or anything like that or so. I'm better than everybody playing that, because it's hip, which means it's not hip with me, because it's a normie game. Yeah, look at where that got me now, people. I'm now unironically playing Fortnite with my friends, but I feel like Fortnite's lived long enough that like the longevity of it and everything like that or so has kind of looped back around to it being, hey, it's cool in the public eye, because there's so many worse games you could be playing. You could be playing like Skibidi Toilet the video game or something, I don't know. Oh, goodness gracious. What am I... What is she yapping about? You can do well. And a joke that it's a thing. Yeah, so what you're trying to... is a thing. What? You can laugh about it, but there is things like a proper technique on how to play the triangle and how to hold it. It's like true knowers. Do you know about the C grip? I sound such like a pretentious music douchebag. Oh, goodness gracious, dude. Goodness gracious. Alright, edit that one right there. That's just chatting. Number 7. I say that's number 7. I need to retitle that. That's number 8. I'm such an idiot. That totally says number 8 right there. What am I doing, Chief? But yeah, there is, yeah, exactly, so Crimson's got it. There's a specific grip to make sure that you're not muting it. There's a specific way that you have to strike it. Whether you want to roll it, you strike it on the inside and roll between the top try part, I guess, when it comes to it, or you're striking on the outside away and out to make sure that it drains out properly. There's many small things to it, and there is actually an art. It's not stupid stuff. Our customers are paid well because we know how to actually get the censored sound out in the proper way and everything like that, or so now. Let's be honest here, people. Guys, more than anything that they watch it to be real. No, it is a real thing. But then again, people joke about things like the recorder being an instrument, and it's like, no, there is an instrument called the recorder. It is a real thing now, people. Alrighty, let's look at the VODs real quick, dude. So I need to post these out as well. But yeah, shooters. Now on the side, I like what I would also consider in that case then. Like shooters that I can just like arcadey on that side or so. Halo is, I guess, like an arena shooter when it comes to it more than anything. Then I like, you know, I don't like modern day Call of Duty. It's absolutely way too zoomer for me to be able to keep up with all of that movement, and also I do not like all the weird outfits that take away from how everything looks when it comes to it, quite frankly, or so. So that's what I'm really hoping so much that Battlefield just stays on its Battlefield kind of like art style design philosophy and everything like that, especially so. I don't like no-sim shooters. And that's because I want, like, if I'm going to be playing a game, I want to have that dopamine of getting into the action, getting to play things out, and, you know, just enjoy my fast and loose playstyle, and however it may be or so. So like tactical shooters like Rainbow Six Siege, for example, Valorant, CSGO, everything like that or so, I can understand and I respect those games. Like, I consume so much esports content on them, for example. But it's not something that I'm going to go out of my way to play unless I'm doing it with friends. Because I don't want to sit there, like, because on one end, I can have my fun with my arcade shooters, regardless of my skill level, even though I consider myself above average as based on my actual competitive results when it comes to it. But I know if I'm going to play like CSGO, Valorant, Rainbow Six, or whatever, so I want to play the ranked ladder in that case then, more often than not only just play it casually. And I'm not going to be able to invest the same amount of time as other people can into those games, nor will I also have the patience to watch a corner for 60 seconds, turn the other corner for two and a half, get timing, and then now I'm out for the other 3 minutes of the round. That's boring to me. At least, like, you know, from an entertainment perspective, I want to be active, I want to be moving around, I want to be doing stuff. So, I ADHD in the shooter stuff when it comes to it then. I also just realized I didn't have the right screen up, but it's alright. It's all good now. Until Monster Tower Defense 2'd up, and now I bring Chrome back up. That will be August 4th. August 4th on my 4 p.m. time, so I'll copy that then. I messed up. So, it's that. Same with motion shooters when it comes to it. So, like, Squad, Ready or Not, or anything like that or so, and stuff like that. Don't have anything against it. It's just, you know, like, not my preferred genre of shooter, for instance, or so. Alright, Dreno, let's see what else that you got for me. That would be favorite book? Favorite book. If I had to put myself on a favorite book, I would probably have to say ones that shaped my high school age when it comes to it then. So I'd probably say like Shawshank Redemption, absolute classic, made me fall in love. Like I love the book, I love the movie when it came to it as well, of course, after that. And then it would also, I'd probably also put it up to one that shaped a lot of my own, like, Toad Story reference then, one called The Great Raid. So let me see if I can't pull it up. The Great Raid. Book. Or, was it The Great Raid? This isn't the cover that I remember. Maybe it is. Okay, wait, hold on. Am I losing myself here? But the TLDR, this is a historical book talking about the siege of Bataan. It's a Filipino, about focusing on the Philippine impact in World War II. When it comes to it, the POW camp, the Bataan Death March, it's a historical book when it comes to it. And Douglas MacArthur in the Great I Will Return speech, as much as Douglas MacArthur is absolutely not a person you should be looking favorably on as history turns when it comes to it. But just for Philippine history, based on, him being basically the biggest US connection when it comes to it or so, I wouldn't necessarily say it presents him necessarily heroically, but it's a whole historical book basically talking about the whole entire involvement of the Americans and Philippines in the conflicts for what happened with Japanese internment camps, enslavement, POW camps, whatever, stuff like that, and how the Philippines reacted, resisted, and everything like that or so. And that inspired a big love for history in my own high school to college career in that case then. Now, did I pursue history much? Not really past it then at that point, but it still is one of my favorite subjects without a doubt at that point, afterwards then. Alright, taking another sip of water. I'm going to be right back because my water is almost out and I need to use the restroom real quick. So let me be right back on this roll right now. Alright, I'm back, y'all. Back to more editing, everything like that or so, right? Done most of the big ones with Toho then, so it's gonna come down to really, I can just start thumbnailing out the deadlock ones, but I don't know if I want to necessarily do too much on that end of actually scheduling them out yet, because I might just supposed to just chatting in betweens. Might. And we start doing the busy work when it comes to it then. But for now, let's keep going on Rena's list from stuff that she's won, from the questions that she won. Says and take another sip of water. Let me see here. Got a question. Places to visit. Lorena asks, is there any place that I would like to visit, or anywhere I'd like to visit then? I'll probably just say, now this seems kind of like a boring answer, I guess, when it comes to it, but I would say anywhere in Europe, actually. And it's not just the Flanny excuse, though of course the Flanny excuse is pretty high, quite frankly. So if I get to see Flanny, then, well, jury's all out when it comes to it then. But all of my family, my close family, has gone to Europe one way or another, except for me. So it's just more or less, it's my own perfect excuse to be able to then say, all right, y'all have had your own time, I need to have my own vacation, and it's a way for me to experience a country, a continent that I've never been to in that case then. Because really, it's just, we've only been, you know, either in the United States of America for my family, or we've been in the Philippines. Now, granted, we were in Japan back earlier this April on a vacation there, and we've passed through Korea, but that's only like, you know, I'm not counting visiting the country to an extent if you only were in the airport at that point then, because you can say so much about layovers in that case, but I feel like that's kind of cheating on that metric if you're gonna put it that way. I'd love to go somewhere then. My French has degraded so much from high school that I really can't say much besides je ne sais pas un François. I don't know, I don't speak French. My parents went to Italy. It seems like that'd be a very fun thing to do potentially on that end. It was that Britain's always there when it comes to it, and quite frankly, I feel like there's a lot of potential opportunity. Germany also seems pretty fun because there's a lot of my IRL friends that I know who could actually help me out on finding good places to go to see there, and also my schedule might be dictated based on esports events that might be happening around on that end, because all the esports events in North America are happening on like the West Coast and Cali. Whereas there's so many, I could go to like a CS Mage, and even though I don't support CS, necessarily play it that much, I just love to go to one for the vibes. It'd be so much fun. So much variety there, close countries, but so much different, lots to explore. Yeah, Rena, I can figure things out when it comes to it on that end then. Next question. Would I want to talk about any pets that I've had in my life? I would say that for the Discord rather, because I want to show off pictures when it comes to it then. Pie versus cake. That's a really good question, because I feel like I'd be smack dab neutral in the middle of it then, because I like many different things about both of them. I love any kind of cake when it comes to it. The Kroger branded like 1001 like chocolate chip cookies or whatever was a absolute classic back then in the day for my mom and I to always have back then. But then I got hooked on peach cobbler and apple pie during the high school days, because that was something that was served out at lunchtime at all time at felt like when it comes to it. Cookie cake absolutely ruled. You know, like when it comes to like my birthday celebrations, anything like that I'd ever have, I love those so much. I didn't say this thumbnails, oopsie. Wrong thumbnail, Cruzy. Says that's saving. Should I just wait for it to stop saving in that case then as we go on? Kate, love that. Yes, I need to showcase some of my... I absolutely need to showcase some of my past birthday cakes and everything like that, or so, because my parents have always outdone themselves when it comes to it. So there's that. But then again, at the same time, too, I guess I'd lean more towards Kate then, but it's not like it's a binary argument that I gotta have one or the other. Now, granted, the pie versus Kate argument has always been, like, the internet oldie. Like, I feel like that was like a big thing back then for like Facebook groups to divide yourself over, and I'm team cake, I'm team pie. I just want to enjoy food, but if I had to choose one, I guess I'd go with cake in that case then. Brenda's next question, cat or dog person? Well, I'll share my pet pictures later, but our family's had 3 dogs now when it comes to it, so we are absolutely dog people. I don't have anything against cats necessarily, but I also, if it was gonna be me, I want to have more of that immediate unconditional love, rather than like just cats kind of lounging around or so, or you know, maybe a bit wishy-washy or so. Getting to go to friends' houses like Zoe's and seeing how some of the cats, even though I've known them for good enough, they're still washy with me, or also still washy with Zoe and such. That's just kind of, that's just kind of like, all right, I don't understand the appeal with them, but I just want to go home and just be loved by my lovely dots here and there immediately then. Through the heart, Rena, I know. But unfortunately, I am a dog person when it comes to it. We've never had cats. At least I know it. My grandpa has a cat. His name is Smurf, but otherwise that's literally it. That's like the only cat that our entire family has at all. Like out of like my entire extended family. Everyone's so technically over, but not everyone's so lucky. Yeah, and that's just, you know, cats being cats. You really can't do much about it in that case then, but yeah. I'm seeing I'm missing a DL53 here, so I might have to research into that. I have an offline Lost Prince of Legend run that I also need to make a thumbnail for, so let's boot that up. Then so Lost Prince of Legend. It'll be 65 in that case, and that was a Ramu run, if I recall correctly. But no, that's just my preference when it comes to it then. Don't feel, I don't want you to feel bad about it. It's not like me saying I like you any less, Rena. It's just, that's what I've always grown up with, and nothing more, nothing less than that when it comes to it. Of course, not every cat is gonna be the same or different or everything like that, but it still is, you know, your own, like, family preference, I guess, when it comes to it then on that side. I need to check out this Lost Prince of Legend run. This was the one that we had in the Discord call when I was doing my stuff. Ah, all right. It's coming back to me now. It's coming back to me. I don't have a word command, friends. So you're just gonna kind of have to be here when during the yap and all. But thank you for coming on by. Sorry, Chow. I hope you're doing well overall. But going back to it, yeah, like. The only other animals I guess that we've really had is a hamster. Back in the good old days of middle school. Then his name was Skip. But otherwise, I've really never had any other animals. It's just been dogs as a family. Then when it comes to it, then I'm watching over my old footage real quick to see if I can't find a thumbnail. I should say. So I already deleted the thing from my VOD view, so I need to see. Where I can, what I can find as a good usable thumbnail. Because this Marissa run was pretty good, but I don't know what to exactly use as a thumbnail. Actually, red star actually wouldn't be bad in that case. And yeah, that's a pretty good catch. We can use that one immediately. Cal, we had a goat once for a little while who was hilarious. You had a goat? Like, in your house? When did this happen? That's so I can keep the Marissa, because I can keep this. This is still a red Marissa run. No, lived outside? Okay. Just if you're like keeping the goat just casually inside your house, I'm gonna have a lot of questions then in that case. Oh, goodness gracious. Semi-rule? No, I get you now. Now, to be fair, because of all the Uma Musume I've been playing, a lot of actual IRL horse content's been popping up in my feed. I'm not going to lie when it comes to that side now. So, it's not right. I'm immune to the rural propaganda. I'm going to be real with you, Chief. Goodness gracious. Okay, Lost Prince of Legend 65 is a thumbnail to this one here. If I go back to my Firefox view, I can schedule this one out. Lost Prince of Legend. Horse fuel, goodness gracious. Running horse in the house is adorable. That would be adorable, I'd say so. Alright, let's get this Lost Prince of Legend run. So much overdrive and concentration. Concentration. You know what? I'm too tired for this. Concentration. Goodness gracious. Lost Prince of Legend. Next up then, if you could have any superpower, what would you pit and why on Rena's question docket? Forgive me when it comes to it then. I would definitely either pit between two, quite frankly, of time stopping. Not for like the things of like, oh, I can like stop time and stop crime, dodge stuff, or really torso. One, it's absolutely just because of Satya Easy. There's no skirting around it. It is just Satya. I love my knife Maid. I'd love to be able to stop time. But honestly, I'm gonna use it for boring reasons, such as stop time, sleep at my job, wake up after a nice 3-4 hour nap, go back to doing my job regularly, or doing chores. That way I'm not losing time that I can spend with friends when time is not stopped overall. So that is me being super basic, super boring, but also that is a way that I'd use it unironically in that case then. Of just, alrighty, Heat Chief, let's stop time so I can actually enjoy, so I can make the most of my friend time and then get to use it otherwise. It's that, or it wouldn't be a superpower, rather than it's me stealing the stand ability then. Heaven's Door, Rohan stand from Diamond is Unbreakable, Part 4 JoJo's. Actually the freest thing ever to be able to write in an ability of what you want basically when it comes to it, or get to read over what people can do or tell them what to do, because quite frankly, you can easily solve 2 problems. One, stand users attract each other, so I might attract malicious stand users, but if I write in a clause on myself that says, I cannot be harmed by other stands, or rather, other stand users are non-malicious to me or mean no harm, I dance around any problems of anybody else wanting to throw fights with me just because I have a stand, as per JoJo's logic. And 2, now I can literally acquire any other power that I want. I could write in, I know how to speak every language, or I write in, I have all the motivation in the world, and I don't feel tired as much anymore, so. And it's basically just, I can just enable closest thing to creative mode when it comes to it then. It's cool. But those would be the ones that I think I'd go with in that case then. Here, if I want to, I can put the just chatting when it comes to it in between then in that case. And I can still have the deadwatts. I still have the first ones to thumb out in that case. But no, that's what I think I'd go with then. Time stopping is of course just me being Satya easy or pill, because I love my Satya. We love our Satya in this house when it comes to it. So I'm not gonna state my favorite girl, of course. But otherwise, it's just all practical answers. And I feel like that's a very adult answer to say, with how boring it is to want to have something that's practical and not something flashy or stupid. It's stupidly cool on that side or so, but that's just how I'd want to just make my mundane life easier. And quite frankly, what's a superpower if not being able to be relentlessly efficient? I'm already relentlessly efficient. I worked 8 hours today. I'm streaming for what's going to be 2 hours on this end when it comes to it, so I can get work done. I'm literally doing editing on my stream right now to get my upload schedule together. So if I use my superpower to have even more motivation in all of my work and everything like that or so, goodness, what am I doing? Into the fun ones that I didn't add. Oh goodness. It's not that I'm really doing too much when it comes to it then. I'm still studying myself on this here. But yeah, quite frankly, I want to be productive. I want to constantly keep working. And with how I'm working 2 full-time jobs when it comes to it, with how I'm already going to be doing things, I'd gladly take the opportunity to stop time for a little bit, to be able to say, hey Chief, alright, it's time. I need to just slow things down, take a 3-4 minute nap to myself, or a 3 or 4 minute hour nap to myself, and just relax. That, or guilty pleasure of mine would be I'd love to learn languages altogether when it comes to it then. So actually being able to write in with Heaven's Door. I guess I am also splitting hairs of that's superpowers versus stand abilities, but stand abilities are basically superpowers in essence. Let's be real here, Chief. So on that end, it's just whatever then, Chief, whatever. Alright, let's see what else that you got for me, Rena. We've got... Why is your audio still messed up? I can't help without too much on that side, quite frankly. Just due to the fact that's a new audio kind of thing. Why am I your favorite person in the world? That's Rena's question when it comes to it then. Well, I feel like Oh, do it. I can't help it. I mean, we can do that after stream, quite frankly. I'm feeling myself getting a little bit more fatigued. When it comes to what I'm seeing, it is 10:22, so with me talking about how workaholic I am, I might actually cut myself off just for my own sake, just sit in Discord, make sure I can actually parse out these Deadlock ones directly, and then we go on from there. But to answer your question of why are you my favorite person in the world, well, that's because you are sweet, you are kind, you've been a wonderful member of my community. The fact that I got to contact you out on Twitter, when I saw that PR made a design for you and just said, "Sign sisters," and now you are a lovely daily member of my community just to interact with me or so, that is very, very sweet. And quite frankly, I can consider my favorite person in the world because my love for my dark elves like Franny and Ein transcend the world and go past to the heavens above. So, followed by your last question that you had set up for me, favorite sandwich? I can't go wrong with an egg sandwich or like a peanut butter and banana because those were the ones that basically shaped my childhood. When it comes to it on that end, I'd say if I had to choose a favorite, egg sandwich is just simple. Egg, get some nice banana ketchup, put it on between some pan de sal and some butter. Pan de sal is Filipino bread when it comes to it. That's absolute childhood right there. Alright, I'm feeling my eyes start to droop a little bit. So that's telling me one, normal soup because I'm running low on energy. So I'm going to eat a bigger holistic dinner is my thought process right here. And I'm actually going to end things off because I did at least when it comes to looking at my editing schedule overall, I did basically get a whole 2 weeks out almost when it comes to it then on my A slot. My B slot, I need to end the just chatting stuff when it comes to it here so I can actually start parsing that out. And I need to see why I'm missing a deadlocked VOD in that case. I don't want to set myself up for failure and then have to edit everything out then. Afterwards, the just chatting will be there. I need to put, wait, did I put the Toho Monster Tower Defense on, did I put the Monster Defense out already then? Look up VOD, Cruzy. Yes, I did set August 4th. I just didn't grab the link to it then. Where is the link that I can grab? Thank you for the link. Firefox is not going to pick up the fact that I am on my Google Sheet. There we go. Oh, Monster Tower Defense, so we'll be good on that. I have 2 just chatting VODs when it comes to, I have just chatting VOD, and these 2 just chatting videos, then back to the Deadlock streams when the Deadlock dailies, then bi-dailies. Yeah, no, that'll be good, Yeah, I consider that good, and that fulfills the side of the bargain when it comes to me getting to yap after you winning the raffle when it comes to it then. So I'm pretty happy when it comes to that then. Let's go. This has been fun to just listen to the app. I mean, you're seeing here, I got, besides me stunwatching myself every now and then to just type, because I can't talk and type as well as I'd love to be able to, I can genuinely just go on about these here, with or without the subjects, but I want to entertain us with a little bit more audience participation on that end. So, that'll be a good call then. That'll be a good call for now. So I got to do my work, and what better way for Cruzy to be efficient than to work on stream? Because the grind never ends, and I should probably give myself a break because I've been trying to stream as many days as I can here. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more, it's been your Wonderful Wind Mage, your Cruz Ship servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service now. I do hope that everybody gets to enjoy themselves. Thank you all for coming on by. I will be back tomorrow, is the plan on my schedule here when it comes to it now. I want to try to keep obeying the stream schedule. This should be a variety night because I don't necessarily know what I want to necessarily play at the time. I'll see, because quite frankly, I'm just going to be at the whims of how energetic I am after work. Because I'm going to be at work from like noon to like 9 again. Then we'll see. But just for now, whether it be morning, afternoon, evening, or night, thank you all for coming on to this wonderful little yap stream again. And you want us to take it easy now, y'all.